everybody. Do you know what time it is? That's right. It's snack time. Today, I'm going to be cooking for you. And so instead of eating weird, disgusting stuff, you're going to see me cook some potentially weird, disgusting stuff. Pretty simple. If your culinary skills are like mine, you're not going to be on any cooking shows, at least not any ones that deal with people with skill. But my cooking skills are basically somewhere above college student and below normal functioning. I have to cook for myself to survive. That's where I'm at. And if you're like us, and probably 90% of America, around the beginning of the coronavirus start, you got chickens, and you built yourself a chicken coop from, hours and hours of scouring Pinterest, and consequently, you got a lot of freaking eggs. So you come up with a lot of different ways to eat those eggs. Well, same ways, just different ways of cooking it, and maybe different prayers of not getting sick from it. But here's what I'm going to do. Alright, so I have 3 of my lovely chicken eggs here, freshly made butt nuggets from today. I am going to add in some minced garlic, but at the closer to the end, because that burns much quicker. I've learned that from watching a bajillion cooking shows. I'm going to cook a little celery because, well, that's what I've got in my refrigerator. And normally I would throw in some tomatoes or, some other stuff, onions, but don't really have a lot of that. I love artichoke hearts, so I'm going to put some of that in there too. And this is a trick that I learned from my dad. The trick originally, as taught, was put a little bit of, like a spoon of mayonnaise in your egg. And when you fluff it all up, when it cooks, it'll be much fluffier and have a nice little flavor of mayonnaise. Well, we went up to that one time since we were out of mayonnaise, and we tried it with ranch dressing. That also works great. I like blue cheese dressing, so I am going to add that in. You'll see how much fluffier that makes the omelet. If you're not a blue cheese fan, then go to ranch. If you don't like ranch, go to mayonnaise. If you don't like any of those things and you're like my son-in-law Jordan, then just don't do it. It's okay. There's other things you can add in there to floof it up, I'm sure, but I don't know what they are. So I am going to start off with a ample amount of butter. Butter just makes everything better. Butter. Actually, I think that might be margarine. I'm not sure. Hold on, let's go see. It is Imperial something. I don't know. Who knows? So I did find a potato, and so I sliced it up nice and thin because it will cook faster. See, I'm so hungry, I'm salivating. Turning stove on high for the potatoes, waiting for butter to melt. Adding pepper to egg mixture with fancy frickin' pepper grinder. Ooh, fancy. You actually want to add about so much of your mayonnaise, ranch, or blue cheese dressing. Then you're going to whip it. But whip it real good. Butter's melting! Butter's melting! Oh yeah. Give me some potatoes. Yes. Adding in celery. Let it cook. Probably should put that in after the potatoes cook a little bit. But as I said in the disclaimer, I really don't know what I'm doing. And add more butter. Flip potatoes over. Cook both sides. Not rocket science, but just in case you were wondering, I'm not a rocket scientist either. Somebody here likes butter. Once you got everything relatively brown, or however you like it, I go to about half the temperature. Now I'm going to add in one-handed. I'm going to add in, spread everything out a little bit, and then I'm going to try to get this into one big, delicious omelette. Now I'm going to add in some minced garlic. That might be too much, but my wife's still at work, so I have time to brush my teeth. Then I'm going to add, like I said, some heart attack, stroke inducing Parmesan cheese to this layer. Like I said, this is going to cook up, be a little bit like breading. And I'm going to fail miserably at flipping it over pretty. It all ends up in the same place anyway. Yes, put it back into a pile. Talk a little bit like John Strangeway. Add some more Parmesan cheese on this side. That's right. If you haven't watched John's reading of books as Sean Connery, then you are missing out. Alright. I couldn't do it in film at the same time, but I added some. That wasn't supposed to happen. I added some artichokes to the mix here. Wasn't supposed to get this oil in here, but maybe that'll taste good. The good thing about an omelet and having chicken is, one, they're always pooping them out, so you got a good supply. And if what you make tastes like crapola, then you can just give it right back to the chickens. They'll love you for it. There you go. Put on your plate. As you can see here, that's what all of that Parmesan cheese does. Garnish with a little bit of parsley. Yeah, looking fancy. Grab yourself a fork. Don't invite anybody to eat with you, though. You don't want any witnesses if this kind of turns out terrible. And eat your omelet. Oh, really hot. Let your omelet cool down a little bit and then eat it. That's not bad. I like it. So this snack time is a success. Join me on my next episode where I cook ramen noodles, the really complicated stuff.